This is a composed salad, as opposed to a simple tossed salad. I've chosen this to show you because it looks elegant, tastes delicious, and you can easily learn to plate this one up beautifully, as you'll see. It's also an example of Nouveau Russe cuisine, the new Russian standard in finer dining. Although it's largely based on Italian flavors and ingredients, this is an original creation. We have asparagus, and the usual routine is that you bend it, you flex it to find out what's the part that's good to eat, what the part is that's good is of course the top. The bottoms of these, you can puree these up with some stock, and you can create a cream of asparagus soup after you sieve this off. So you don't have to waste this, but it's of no use the rest of this recipe, so I'm going to go through these and break the rest, snap the rest. These asparagus aren't very large diameter, but still they've got some rough parts on them, so you hit them gently. Just knock off any tough parts at the base. And this is fine now. The water and chicken stock for the asparagus at a simmer. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt, about a tablespoon, and put the asparagus in. You notice it's just enough water and chicken stock to cover the asparagus, not any extra. I'm going to put a cover on it and simmer it for just a few minutes here. Okay, it's been 4 minutes exactly. Now moving this asparagus to an ice bath. Now that the asparagus are cooked, they get put in a container, sealed up, and kept in the refrigerator. I'm going to begin with making the dressing here. We got 15 grams of shallots. This is about 8 or 10 basil leaves, small handful. 45 milliliters of white balsamic vinegar. Now I'm going to turn on the scale. Start measuring this. This is the olive oil, of course. I'm doing this one by weight, and there we have it. It's just about how much I had left in the bottle. Another 45 grams of olive oil. Some salt. A good dash of salt. And finally, some mayonnaise. Also about 45 grams. You're going to blend this up. I don't usually bother with such details because it's not important, but this is a recipe of careful balances, and it has to be balanced well to be perfect. This is 700 milliliters of water. I've got 2 tablespoons of salt, and I'm putting 2 potatoes in that are about 100 grams each. This is cold water right now. I'm going to begin heating it with a cover on it. I've got, out of 1 to 10 scale, I've got the heat set to 7. So it's going to take a little while to come to a boil, and I'm going to watch it. And when it comes to a boil, then we'll go from there, count the time. You can see with the potatoes, it's been exactly 15 minutes, and they're just now starting to boil. Now I'm going to count the time. Okay, it's been 6 minutes now. The potatoes at a full boil, and now I'm just killing the heat. I'm just going to leave them sit there, still covered, but I'm not going to have any more heat on them. I'm going to remove these to another ice bath. Of course, the exact type of potato you use will have some influence on this. This is what works for Yukon Gold as far as I have found. At least the Yukon Gold potatoes we get. Now the potatoes cool down, we can make our slices of it. We want to make them thin, but not too thin. You know, I'm looking at what, maybe 3/8 of an inch, somewhere less than 1/4 of an inch, but not as small as 1/8 of an inch. These potatoes are nice and soft. They're going to be very absorbent. And we're going to drizzle on a little black truffle oil. You could use white truffle oil. Black is highly recommended here. White is too strong, and it's a little off-putting with everything else. And a little bit more salt. Even though the potatoes have been salted, we're going to add just a little bit more salt. Okay, and these are just going to sit off to the side. And the last component, finally, of this dish, we have a hard-boiled egg, which, by the way, when you cut into a hard-boiled egg, and you want to cut it into small pieces, first split it in half so you have a place to rest it. You can use a food processor on this if you want to. Potatoes down, layering the asparagus. This going. Egg. Put some torn leaves of basil over this. Again, less is more often with this sort of thing. You don't want to go overboard. Now, a few curls of Parmesan. I'll just use the potato peeler for this. And if you want, you can hit it with just a few drops, a little bit more dressing around the edge. Beautiful and delicious. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.